The Supreme Court is hearing the case on triple talaq, even though the court is officially in recess for the summer vacation.
The Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court, 5 judges of different religions are hearing the triple talaq case. The petition, Muslim Women's Quest for Equality. The Chief Justice's first questions, is triple talaq fundamental to the Muslim religion? Is triple talaq part of an enforceable fundamental right? The court also made it clear that while hearing the case, they will not touch the issue of practice of polygamy among Muslims. The government, taking its cue from the Prime Minister, who has spoken about guaranteeing the rights of Muslim women, reiterated its stand, saying that triple talaq is unconstitutional.
तीन तलाक का विषय है नारी न्याय, नारी गरिमा, नारी समानता। आपको कहा गया तलाक 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 और आपका जीवन बर्बाद। क्या कोई हिंदू आज कहेगा कि मैं छुआछूत करूंगा क्योंकि मेरी पूजा के लिए जरूरी है?
However, many Muslim organizations are against the court's interference with what they say are practices stemming from the Quran.
पर्सनल लॉज को हम आर्टिकल 14 पर 15 पर टेस्ट नहीं करेंगे, अब तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने माना है।
कोर्ट कोई ऐसी सजा बना सकता है 3 तलाक देने वाले को
कि ये उलमा से मशवरा करके तय हो सकता है।
But for these women victimized by what they claim is a cruel practice, the next 10 days are crucial.
अगर आप सोसाइटी में जाएंगे, हर तीसरे चौथे घर में एक डाइवोर्स लेडी बैठी हुई है। हमने शरिया के कोडिफिकेशन की डिमांड की है। ये जो सेमी लिटरेट क्लर्जीमैन हैं, इनके जरिए वो कोडिफिकेशन ना हो, इस चीज की डिमांड की है।
Just last month, the Allahabad High Court had held the practice of triple talaq as unilateral and bad in law. Is instant triple talaq illegal? Is it intrinsic to Islam and religion, therefore outside the purview of the courts? Or does it discriminate against women and therefore needs to be struck down? Just some of the important questions that the Supreme Court will be looking at in this historic hearing, something which it hopes to conclude by the middle of next week. In New Delhi, Siddharth Pandey for NDTV.
All right, well, joining us now on the program, Kamal Farooqi of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, Noorjahan Safia Niaz, a co-petitioner and member of the Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan, and Sambit Patra of the BJP join us as well. It's an issue which is fundamental. It's an issue which concerns personal laws of this country versus gender equality. Kamal Saab, let me come to you first. You know, there are lots of legal arguments. This is being heard by the Supreme Court. Irrespective of the legal argument or your interpretation of Islam, I think the bottom line here is that it's 2017. If a Muslim woman wants to object to a process of divorce which has been initiated by her husband, why deny her that?
No, she has got this right.
But then if there is a triple talaq in one sentence or within a finite period of time, it can be done in 3 ways, 90 days or a few months, why not give a legal option to a person to challenge the process?
No, that's in fact, Vishnu, the problem is that people have not understood the law properly. Number one, of course, this is not the forum to discuss all these things because I need some more time. But as far as this divorce is concerned, that is for the benefit of the women, for those women who are not in a position to cope with this relationship with the husband, and he is trying to create the problem, or they are not one way or the other, they are not in a position to live together. Basically, it is to their advantage that at least they could get free and they could have their own life better. But the prime question which you posed right now is whether this is a part of the fundamental right or not. Yes, it's a part of the fundamental right, because as a citizen, I am being allowed in my country to follow my religion, to propagate it. And as far as talaq is concerned, it is one of the most important institutions in the Sharia laws.
But it's an institution which a lot of people say, if a woman says that she wants to challenge it, if she feels that it is wrong, then she is not given an opportunity. If a man is to say talaq, 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 and a divorce takes place.
Vishnu,
it's at one level, it's a practical issue as well.
No, it's a practical issue, and that is a solution which Muslim Personal Law Board has given 20 years ago. In fact, what actually we say, it's as far as the marriage is concerned in Islam, it's a kind of civil contract. It's a contract which must be understood properly. Even for the small thing which we buy, go to the market, we have.
But it's not being understood because there are lots of cases, right, Kamal Saab, as you know, where this is being used. Very unfortunately, very sadly, there are 5 co-petitioners in this case.
5.
Many of these cases.
5. You said 5.
There are 5.
There could be 5,000. There could be 5,000.
No, but why don't we look at these?
No, Vishnu, but please,
all of these cases where there have been grotesquely denied their rights.
Please understand this, that this is not I am saying on the basis of the census, the incidence of divorce among the Muslims is the least, and as far as the triple divorce is concerned,
that's because it's often not reported.
No, often not reported. Who can guarantee this? We have taken on through the RTI, we have taken lots of areas, in fact, where it is proved that it is unnecessarily being projected as something which is not so common among the Muslims.
Noor Jahan Safia Niaz, would you like to come in over here, ma'am? The point that is being made, and a lot of people would find this, well, questionable, is that apparently this is something that actually protects women. That's the point that Kamal Saab also said, that triple talaq in a way protects a woman. I don't understand how that can be, but what is your counter argument to that?
No, even I don't understand this. It's beyond my comprehension. Point is, we have been getting multiple cases over so many years. Our centers across the country are flooded with cases. We've been getting phone calls, and 3 women have already approached the Supreme Court. BMMA is a part of 1 lakh organization, membership of 1 lakh women, plus there are so many other women who have been coming out openly and talking about the ways in which they have been divorced. So it's a problem which exists. Either they don't want to see it, either they want to ignore it, or probably they are living on some other planet, I don't know. But this is a problem, and as a Muslim woman, as a citizen of this country, it is my right that this problem is addressed by the state, because enough time has been given to all the religious bodies. It's not that they are not aware of this issue. It's been 7 decades now, and a huge chunk of time has gone. Multiple families have been destroyed. A lot of women have suffered. And if there is no change which is going to come from the religious bodies, if they are refusing to accept reality, if their mindsets don't change, how long are Muslim women going to wait?
Okay.
And as a citizen, we have all the right to approach to all
yes, of course, and nobody is
institutions,
questioning that right at all.
The Supreme Court to address our issues.
Sambit, would you like to come in over here at the end of the day, as far as this government, as far as thinkers within the government are concerned? Do you believe that when there is religion and then there is gender equality, in cases like this, gender equality goes beyond religion and what religion may say? Is that the central argument that's being raised?
Vishnu, there are some very important issues which needs to be brought out academically in this case. First and foremost, at the outset, I would like to tell you that we should not politicize this issue. Neither should we see this whole issue through the prism of religion. We have to see this issue with the trinity of liberty, right and dignity of woman, because these are the fundamental rights which have been guaranteed as per the constitution of the country, and certain things which, after hearing Mr. Kamal Farooqui, whom I respect a great deal, I would like to bring in over here. Look, the respondent number 3 is the All India Muslim Law Board, and in the affidavit that was submitted to the Supreme Court by the respondent number 3, that is the Muslim Board, the exact contention that Mr. Farooqui is making, that triple talaq is protective of women, has been submitted in a form which I will explain right now. The Muslim Law Board says that, well, yes, triple talaq is an undesirable, quote unquote, undesirable practice, but yet it should be upheld because of these 3 reasons. Reason number 1, it is protective of women because of the fact that the divorce procedures are extremely long legal battles, and if suddenly the husband gets agitated over it or loses his patience over it, then naturally someday he may murder the wife. So rather than getting butchered, burnt or murdered, the best option for the woman is to take a triple talaq and leave the house. Second justification for triple talaq by the Muslim Law Board is that the decision making, quote unquote, decision making power of woman is far less than that of man. So in fact, the woman cannot take this decision, man has to take the decision. And the third justification that they give of this undesirable practice is that if in the court of law, during a long drawn battle, the husband pronounces the wife as characterless, then naturally in the years to come, the wife may have number of problems in her personal life. So So better than going into all this battle, the wife should humbly accept the triple talaq and should get out of the
I want to get
life.
Kamal sir, would you
Secondly,
like to
very
respond to
importantly, only on April 9th.
Samit, you mentioned 3 specific points. In fact, I was going to get to these points, but now that you mentioned it, Kamal sir, would you like to respond to each of these?
My friend, thank you very much. At least you have stopped saying that let us not politicize this, but you were politicizing.
I don't think he's politicizing.
No.
I'm
not. He's not politicizing. Thank you very much. Because they have changed their view. Otherwise, on your show itself, we have seen the law minister also who was raising this issue. We had seen Mr. Amit Shah.
No, but let's talk about the issue of murder of wives. That is an argument which has been made. That triple talaq prevents the murder of wife. If it is not given, a frustrated husband will go and murder his wife. Respond to the first point that he says.
What is happening in the society? We have seen it. That to get out of the and I'm not talking about the Muslims. I'm talking about the other women also. We have seen it. How the women are being treated by the husbands in other religions also. It's a social problem. So to protect that, if and unnecessarily, if we are not in a position, if they are not in a position to live together properly, instead of fighting it out or instead of going to the court,
the law doesn't protect us a woman enough to prevent a murder from taking place.
Murder, obviously, it will be.
So the basic,
as far as the murder,
the basic quality or a virtue of a man who faces a situation where his marriage is broken down is that he becomes murderous. That is the implication.
This is not.
Isn't that an incredible assumption?
It is incredible. It is
an assumption.
No, it is not the assumption. It is the truth which is happening in the country.
It is a gross generalization.
Yes, it is. No, it is not gross.
It is a generalization.
No, it is
How can you argue that?
Vishnu, it is happening in the country day in, day out.
You asked for numbers earlier on. Can you give any numbers for this gross generalization?
No,
Can you argue that in each and every case there is a danger of a woman being murdered by a husband with whom a marriage is broken up or is breaking up?
It is taking the simplistic view of the whole thing. It is not that. Yes, triple divorce, as far as even the divorce in one go, even this is being disliked in Islam. And it is said that it should not be given. It should be the extreme circumstance should be given. And all mediation, etc., etc.
It damages her chance. Point number 2 of Sambit. It damages her chance of remarriage.
Yes.
Why does it damage anybody's? If a woman wants to challenge an entire process, right?
Right.
And it is her independent choice to actually challenge a process, why do you assume she is thinking about remarriage?
No, the situation is like this, that they are not in a position to say the husband whether he is right or wrong. They are not in a position to live together properly.
Yes.
And they instead of living together, he will start saying a lot of things about her and all those kind of things.
Again, that's an assumption.
Maybe assumption, but it's a fact of life.
But then how can you make this argument?
No, I'm coming to that, Vishnu. I'm coming to that. But and in case she is not being given an exit route, so she will ultimately be with him.
But then how can you decide that she wants this exit route the way you want it? She may choose to argue in court. She may choose to seek more rights. She may choose to seek more alimony.
No, as far as the alimony
she may choose not to get married in the future.
Maybe. But
so then how do you assume that she is damaging her chance to get remarried?
The correct answer to this would be look in our society. How many divorced or widowed women who are in a marriageable age are unmarried, and compare it with the other communities. In our community, you would hardly find a divorce or a widower who is of a marriageable age remaining unmarried.
So basically, you are saying a Muslim woman who has been divorced in our country, by and large, would be remarried in a finite period of time.
Yes, as far as the Muslims are concerned.
Sooner than later.
Yes.
All right. Sambit, I know you have a point.
Power also should be asked.
Sambit, half a second.
Do women have less decision? No, I just want to ask.
Mr.
Go
ahead,
Farooqui, is it true that women have less decision-making power? Is it true? Do you feel that women have less decision-making power in this 21st century? Submitting this as an affidavit that women have less decision-making power compared to men. Do you confer by that?
No, Sampath, please understand one thing. As far as the total responsibility of the family, total responsibility of the woman, even if the lady is much more richer than the husband, it is the responsibility of the husband to look after the family. In that context, it is said. Don't read it too much.
No.
Maybe.
Which century are we living in, sir?
You are already there in the court. So
absolutely, I disagree with this.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, all right. Okay, Noorjahan Safia Niaz,
the point. The man. Rather, it is contrary. Most of the responsibility is with the woman of the family. No family would exist without a woman.
I wanted to bring in Noorjahan Safia Niaz as well. And ma'am, the point that I wanted to ask you about, it has been argued by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board and others that it's not fair to actually point to countries outside India which have actually changed the law. They say that we have our own distinct identity, milieu, and Muslims in our country live in a particular way. How would you respond to that? Because a very common argument which is given is that in Indonesia, Afghanistan, Morocco, Tunisia, triple talaq no longer exists. So how do you respond to that counter argument?
No, it's a ridiculous argument, complete misogyny at display. Other Islamic countries, there where the religion of the state is Islam, there the Muslim law, the family laws have been codified. The neighboring Pakistan and Bangladesh have codified. There has to be a legal process of separation. Nobody is saying that men and women, if they are unhappy, they should be staying together. Nobody is saying that. But there has to be a manner, a process by which the separation takes place. And before the separation finalizes, there has to be a method by which all the rights of women are safeguarded. That's all we are saying. And this method is very well laid out in the Quran itself. So what are they talking about?
No,
they are in fact doing a big disservice
where is the
to
difference
Islam
between you and
itself.
me.
I question.
I do not know where is the difference between you and me.
Understanding of their own
We also
religion.
agree with this. We also agree with where is the difference between this?
No, she says that triple talaq needs to
Then
be
what
banned.
is
You are saying
wrong
that
in
it
getting
should
a
be
law
banned.
in place?
triple
If there is a law which prohibits unilateral
law?
divorce, what is wrong with it?
Which law is there who prohibits it? Say it is, are you talking about the general law or you are talking about the Muslim law? You are talking about the Sharia law or you are talking about the general law?
I am talking about the codification of Muslim family law. The entire Muslim family law has to be codified based on the Quranic injunctions and the values
It's not
of the
been
constitution of this
codified,
country.
and therefore it's
That's all
open to
we are saying.
interpretation.
No, what do you mean by
Yeah, if you are agreeing,
the-
then you should not be agreeing to triple divorce
No.
at all.
What do you mean by the codification? We have already come out, first edition had already been covered, thousands, in the lakhs it has been printed and distributed. We are still updating it. And
You
number
are not the government, you are not the parliament.
Please.
Codification is a process that should be taken up by the government. You are not the government, you are a registered
No, I'm not the government, neither are you.
Registered
But please,
organizations don't make laws in our country.
Okay, all right. Both of you, one
Keep the
moment. Samit,
parliament
we are running out of time on this part of our
keep the
debate.
decency of the argument.
Samit, quickly, yes, go ahead.
Vishnu, with all due respect, Mr. Farooqi in fact was speaking right now and saying that the All India Muslim Law Board is in the process of codifying things. I have a question, Mr. Farooqi, from you. Your General Secretary, All India Muslim Law Board's General Secretary, Maulana Muhammad Wali Rahmani, what did he submit in a letter only recently? He said that if marriage invitations can be sent through WhatsApp messages, so though triple talaq also can be sent through WhatsApp messages, and he justified triple talaq through WhatsApp messages. Is this the kind of codification that rightly pointed out by Madam over
one
here?
to another,
that
Mr.
an NGO is
The
trying to carry
codification.
out, not the
Okay,
government.
all right.
And secondly,
I want
very
to.
important point that I want. Sir,
No,
a very
Samit,
important point in 10
I'm running
seconds.
out of time
In
on
10
this. It's
seconds,
being
which you
looked
should
at
know.
very closely by the Supreme Court, and I think the issue about whether speed post divorces and WhatsApp divorces and SMS divorces, and perhaps worst of all, triple talaq itself, is something that's being looked at closely. And I think everybody would agree on one thing, that in a finite period of time, perhaps even in a period of weeks, we'll get a clear indicator from the Supreme Court on where this age-old debate, this age-old argument is going. I'd like to end this debate here because